This is it, guys, the last day before Apple announces their new iPhones and all the new products to go alongside them. So let's cover the last influx of leaks. There's actually some quite considerable ones here, the actual phone models that have leaked, the website pre-order page, and more. So let's get into it to talk about the iPhone XS, the iPhone 9 series, possibly XR, XC, and the iPhone XS Max. And as it turns out, the iPhone 9 model, the actual models that were leaked in the last video we talked about, turns out they were not dummies or models after all, they were actual prototypes. So Vinny, I guess, can actually point it out that they were real, and I just noticed those little things, the attention to detail, it was too good for it to actually be a fake. It just seemed too good to be a fake, and the fact that the dual SIM actually came out, that was a big indicator as well. So those models were completely real apparently, they possibly even worked. They were prototypes, as pointed out by Vanya Geskin. And those colors, again, look fantastic. This is not all of them. This is most of them. There's still a orange that was not shown and a blue color. So at least there's a little bit of surprise for how those might look. And if you wanted a closer look at the iPhone 9 before the actual event, apparently the product landing page has leaked. The pre-order site where you're going to be taking a look at all the colors has leaked, or maybe it hasn't. So these were uploaded to /leaks by two separate users. And the first one is really good quality. It actually looks very, very legitimate. Here it shows that Apple will be calling it the iPhone 9, not any other name, and there have been some more that have surfaced, so we'll talk about those. But the iPhone 9 in all the colors shown here, as well as that new rose gold one that leaked. There's a cobalt blue edition and a spicy orange. Really? Okay, how about a spicy mayo orange? Let's start calling these things after sushi. That to me seems like an indicator that Apple will not be calling it that. Spicy orange, I mean, really? But otherwise, it looks very, very well made. Of course, with Inspect Element, anyone can edit the page and change values here, but they would have had to upload these images themselves and change that in Photoshop possibly. But one thing that stands out to me is that on a separate page here, this looks very legitimate. There's a new color for the iPhone 7. Could it be that Apple is changing their lineup here and the iPhone 7 gets a new color, eliminating the gold and the rose gold, combining it into one color here and marketing it as a cheaper version, an alternative to the 6S that they used to sell? This actually could be legitimate. It looks really, really good for what it is, being fan made. And also there's a separate source that shows a very similar one, but the gold iPhone has more of a pink hue to it. This is very strange. It most likely is fake, but it does seem a little bit legitimate. But if it was legitimate, why didn't they just screen cap the entire page instead of, taking a picture of it with their phone? I mean, what's there to lose if they're already leaking it? Next up, this picture of the packaging leak from the iPhone XS. This is coming from a quite prominent leaker on /leaks with a very good record, 92% accuracy rate. Anyways, this picture confirms several things. First off, the base storage being 64 gigabytes, and then it jumps to 256 and 512 for the XS and XS Max models. It also confirmed that there will be no headphone dongle included in the box, as was earlier rumored. It doesn't say anything about a fast charger though, which kind of has me worried, so I hope that that's still going to be a thing. And the latest stuff from Apple iDesigner. I really like this in particular. I think that these muted colors on this concept will really relay how Apple will present their new iPhone XR. So yeah, follow this guy if you haven't already. I'll leave a link down below in the description. And there are apparently some leaks that I have starting with the Apple Watch Series 4. Now this one was created by a user and then reposted as a leak. It's actually just a mock-up on an existing Apple Watch Series 3 edition. As you can see, the crown hasn't changed, the shape hasn't changed in any way. Somebody just took that image of the completed watch face that I released and placed it on here. Another one that I inspired is this, a dual SIM render of the iPhone XS Max being reposted by a Chinese carrier. Unfortunately, one, I did make this. Two, Apple is not going to release the dual SIM in that format. It's going to be stacked instead of side by side. So that is completely not true. Just funny to me that my stuff is being reposted as leaks. And a huge report from Ming Chi Kuo starting with USB-C. Apple will be adding USB-C to this year's iPads. That's crazy. If that's true, Apple will finally be taking a step to adding USB-C to all of their devices, hopefully one day. And it's a dream of mine that they'll add it to the iPhone, but unlikely with all of their licensing fees, all the profit they get off of that. But still, that is so cool. USB-C on the iPad. We rendered it earlier not knowing that it would be true, just thought why not put it in there. But it turns out Apple is really looking to do that this year. He also expects Apple to place that 18-watt fast charger in the box with the iPad Pros. He also did add that the new iPhones will be keeping a Lightning instead of USB-C, and that there would be no fast charger in the box. The 18-watt fast charger is going to be reserved for the new iPads. It was never intended for the iPhones. Instead, a 5-watt power adapter will be included in the box. So anyone holding out and hoping for fast charging to be standard and included in the box of this year's iPhones will be disappointed once again. He also did add that the new MacBook, the replacement to the MacBook Air model, will have a Touch ID sensor, no touch bar. In the Apple Watch Series 4, all of the models, no matter if you get a Sport or any sort of special edition they may be planning, will all have ceramic backs. This was previously limited only to the more expensive models. And he also believes that all Apple Watch Series 4 models will have an EKG inside, or otherwise known as an electrocardiograph. So the health aspect of Apple Watch is getting a huge upgrade. He also did mention that the iPhone 9, the 6.1-inch model, will be delayed until late September or early October due to many manufacturing issues, in particular a display issue that they had a hard time nailing. And lastly, he mentioned that the AirPower Mat and the wireless charging case for the AirPods has a possibility of being released by end of year. Are you serious? It has been so long since Apple announced it, and now he's saying that there's a possibility it could come by the end of the year. Well, he expects it to come by the end of the year. So yeah, about time, Apple. Let's not wait that long. Hopefully it releases in September. And bad news for anyone waiting for the iPhone 6.1-inch. Goldman Sachs, an analyst, actually said that they underestimated the price. They say it's to start at $849, and this throws off the pricing for the entire lineup. This was supposed to be the cheapest model, and now it's priced near the rumored price for the iPhone XS, so that one must be even more. So wow, that's a bit confusing. Hopefully that's not true. An $849 iPhone 6.1-inch model throws everything off. And there's a decent possibility that Apple may not launch the new iPads until October, as many rumors are saying it's just going to be too saturated, this event, new products left and right. So Apple may wait until an October release to announce that. And another large report from Bloomberg starts with the naming of the new iPhone 9, what we've been calling it. They're saying there's a very good possibility of it being called the iPhone XR. The Apple did consider that name and still may stick with it for final release. This is the same site that said Apple will be naming the new iPhone XS Plus the iPhone XS Max. They also do confirm the iPhone XS and XS Max is the name of the more premium models. They also added that they don't know why Apple ditched the Plus branding, but Max will basically signify it's a crazy new model. It'll stand out from all existing models, and they're mostly changing the name for marketing. Many people have been speculating what iPhone XR may mean. Some saying it's iPhone X reality, that Apple will be focusing on augmented reality with this new iPhone, but that doesn't really make sense with a single camera. Others are saying the R is for iPhone X regular. I don't think that makes too much sense either. So there's still a possibility Apple could go with iPhone 9, but iPhone XR is sounding very likely at this point. And they went ahead and did a little recap on this device. It's going to be an LCD model. It'll have aluminum borders. It'll have a wider range of color options. It'll still have most of the specs that the regular iPhone XS has, and it will have a notched display with Face ID. And Bloomberg did mention also that the iPhone XR will be delayed. It will have very, very limited quantity, but Apple will postpone the full release till later. And as if the naming wasn't confusing enough, a presentation from a Chinese mobile carrier leaked, and this is what they called the new iPhones. The iPhone XC for the iPhone XR, the iPhone 9, the iPhone XS, and the iPhone XS Plus. So that basically scrambles everything we knew about this again, and we do have 2 days until we really find out. So at this point, I'm just going to stop worrying about the naming. Most likely it will be XR, as Bloomberg has predicted. And the pricing from this presentation in Chinese currency has leaked as well, and the equivalent in USD is $900 for the iPhone XS, $700 for the iPhone XR model, and $1,015 for the iPhone XS Max. So that's pretty close to everything we've heard already. And the last thing from that presentation is they mentioned that dual SIM models will have a delay. They won't be available at launch, and again, those will be reserved to certain carriers, certain regions. That shouldn't be a worry for most people in America. All right, guys, so there it is. We're in the home stretch here, just a couple days to go before Apple finally announces these products. Now, I'm curious to see if they'll address the leaks. They did once before when the iPhone 4 leaked at the bar, but this time their official promo images have leaked before the actual announcement. So I'm curious to see if they'll say anything about that. It's also very interesting to watch the keynote already knowing what Apple is about to say, but I'm still hoping that there will be one crazy thing. And the rumor is that there will be one feature that none of us saw coming on these new iPhones. And I'm hoping That'll be ProMotion, the 120 hertz display refresh rate. That would make the new iPhones killer, completely different from any and all smartphones besides the one gaming phone that has 120 hertz refresh rate already. In any case, yeah, this event's just in a couple of days. I'll be doing the giveaway that I talked about. By the way, if you haven't signed up, you should. I'll be doing that towards the end of September or early October, whenever the new iPhones do get released, and I'm all done with all the new videos and all that. Less than 2 days to go until what I believe Apple will be announcing: the iPhone XR, the iPhone XS, and the iPhone XS Max. I still have a little bit of hope that they're going to call it the iPhone 9, but we'll see. Anyways, see you then. Peace.